Oh. Welcome to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
An accent. We need God. Because only God can bring us out of this mess.
Wonderfully made. I may not look like you and you me, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Dare to be you, dare to be me, and dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting its glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, and dare to be.
Good morning. Today is the 4th of July. It is about the independence of this country. Before we bring on our guest for the day, just want to state a reminder that not all blacks were enslaved. Most were, probably. I wasn't there. But I do know that not all blacks were enslaved. And the case in point is Mr. James Forten, who was a soldier, a patriot, and by today's standards, a millionaire. To have a discussion about the 4th of July, as well as the future of the city of Baltimore and the state of Maryland, we have esteemed attorney, Mr. Billy Murphy. Before I bring him on, I got to share a quote that we want to say in honor of him. It's by Frederick Douglass. It says, "When we find a man who's ascended heights beyond ourselves, who has a broader range of vision than we, a sky with more stars in it than we have in ours, we may know that he has worked harder, better, more wiser than we. He was awake while we slept. He was busy while we were idle. He was busy improving his talents while we were wasting ours." Without further ado, Mr. Billy Murphy. Good morning, sir. Oh, we got the volume. Oh, we got the volume. Your mic is not on. Darn it. Down the bottom. Yeah, down the bottom. Golly. How did we mess that whole introduction up? Well, he's going to work on it, and I'll be right here. So today, good morning, Angela. And Michael Haney, come on in here while we get Mr. Murphy situated. So down the bottom, there's a settings button, Mr. Murphy. I hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes.
You got me now?
Yes, yes.
All right.
Good deal. Top of the morning to you.
Same to you, brother.
What does the 4th of July mean to you? And let me just say happy birthday to my mom in heaven. The day's her birthday.
Well, the 4th of July, and by the way, happy birthday to your mother. 4th of July has mixed, and has always had mixed feelings. I've had mixed emotions about it because the promise of America is wonderful. The delivery on that promise has been less than wonderful by far for us, for women, for Latinos. And we have just taken a giant step backwards. We've been warned by Clarence Thomas of more giant steps backwards to come. What an angry, self-hating black man he has turned out to be. And so on the 4th of July, I celebrate the promise of America. I'm a patriotic American, but I'm sad that we have not lived up to that promise.
That's what Dr. King said, that they've given us a check. It's null and void, insufficient funds. Are the documents that we continue to teach our children, from the Pledge of Allegiance to the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments to all men are created equal. Is any of this real?
Yes, some of it is real because we have made a remarkable amount of progress, especially in the last 50 years. But as long as it can be taken away, and as long as some of those promises are false, there's a lot to be said about it. So I'd rather be in America than most places in the world. America is a wonderful country for us much of the time, but it still lacks a commitment because so many whites are racist. Not all, but so many, too many. And they want to take us back to the so-called good old days where we were enslaved, where we had less rights than them, where we had essentially no rights that they were bound to respect. And I'm afraid we're getting ready to go back there. I think all of the civil rights gains that we've made are about to be rolled back by this radical right-wing Supreme Court. And that's Clarence Thomas's warning. So on the 4th of July, I'm more concerned about Clarence Thomas's warning becoming a reality in America than anything else.
You know, one of the times we brought you on this show, I believe the government started zapping our broadcasts. And I'm hearing it again. So considering that we probably won't do this long, what can we say about Marilyn Mosby?
No, I'm a strong Marilyn Mosby supporter. First of all, because I believe in the presumption of innocence. Second of all, because I think that she has done an incredible job under considering all of the circumstances under which she's had to work. Number three, she's always been there for us. She has always been there for us, and it's time for us to be there for her. She's been such an influential figure nationally because if it weren't for her aggressive approach to police corruption, if it weren't for her prosecution of Freddie Gray, if it weren't for her convicting over 30 police officers of corruption, there would not be a national movement among prosecutors to do the same thing. She broke the ice. She was the first. And when you stick your neck that far out for us, oh, you got me. It's going to take a whole lot more than they throwing at it for me to turn my back on her and for me to support someone else. So I'm a loyal Marilyn Mosby supporter. Now, has she been perfect? Absolutely not. But we have suffered imperfection of much worse level from white elected officials about whom we say very little are critical. And so instead of using the same standard for her, given that these charges against her are really digging deep into the bottom of the barrel of what I think a U.S. attorney should be doing. Because you can indict 90% of the country for what indicted her for doing. So I'm a loyal supporter. Now I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Your mic is off.
Can you go out and come back in?
I can hear you now. Sure, I can do that.
Go out and come back in.
Okay.
So Michael Haney, you're not going to do this backseat quarterbacking thing, Michael Haney. You got a question, and you come on in here. We're talking with Billy Murphy. And he says he will not give up on Marilyn Mosby. The election, early voting starts this Thursday. So if you're wondering why we're digging into politics on the 4th of July, what better time? People will be gathering today. We have to choose a governor. We have to choose a comptroller. We have to choose an attorney general. We have some major positions to vote for. I defer the floor to you.
I couldn't hear you while I was getting back in.
So you're with Marilyn Mosby because there are people who have been much worse. She's took the blow. She stepped out there. She prosecuted cops.
And she's had an excellent record prosecuting serious cases too. Let's not forget that. And nobody wants to give her credit for that.
You said because 30 cops have been charged under her?
Yes, over 30 cops have been convicted under her.
That's not talked about on Fox.
No, well, I wouldn't expect it to be. I don't understand why black people watch Fox anyway. You're not going to get all of the news that's relevant to us. You're going to get the right wing and its approach.
Have you ever seen a media outlet in Baltimore go after one person all day, every broadcast?
No, unprecedented. Unprecedented. It's been a deliberate campaign to get Marilyn Mosby out of office.
Shouldn't we be asking ourselves why a news outlet would do that?
Well, no, because I think we all know. I don't think there's any question about why. It's the what. And, we slavishly watch Fox News despite its policies.
Where can we get our truth?
Well, we've got to learn how to be critical thinkers. Critical thinkers don't accept any one source of information as being definitive. You look at all of the possible sources of information, you add them all together, and you come up with your own independent thinking after you have looked at the facts carefully and the biases that are involved, the facts that are not stated. You got to do a thorough investigation as you read. And with me, it's been automatic since childhood because I was taught that by my mother and father. Not to believe everything you read, not to believe everything you see on television. So I've had a real advantage in that critical thinking has been a part of my upbringing, and critical thinking is also a part of scientific thought. Scientists are always critical of their own theories, of their own hypotheses, and that's how we make scientific progress. We're not satisfied unless we can prove that our theory is true. We deliberately try to false our theories to try to disprove them before we adopt them, and that's not a common way of thinking in the general public, unfortunately. People rush to conclusions based on the first thing they hear. Because it sounds like it might be true. And, the courtroom has taught me that there are two sides to every story. And I think you learn that growing up, too, because sometimes your parents falsely accuse you of doing things that you didn't do. And so you develop a sense of justice going through that process. And sometimes they don't get it right. Even they get it half right. And a sense of justice arises out of that. And if your parents have a sense of justice, you absorb that sense of justice because of what's happening to you personally and what's happening to others. And my parents used to explain to me why things are happening to us as a people that weren't fair, and why historically this was inevitable, and how we had to fight against it. And
Look,
so
we're going to cut this show short. The government wins. They've been zapping the show, but you do like Marilyn Mosby for state's attorney, and you like Wes Moore for governor.
and Anthony Brown for Attorney General.
Wow.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm a Black Power guy. We don't have enough power. And so, given that we don't have enough power, the right thing to do is increase our power. There's nothing wrong with Anthony Brown being Attorney General at all. I don't know why there's some blacks who voting for someone else. I don't get that. We need a black Attorney General. We've never had one. This is the time. Yes.
We want to thank you for your time. Black Power.
Black Power. Oh, and by the way, when I speak to predominantly white audiences, I always start with question and answer period with the audience before I give my remarks. How many of you believe black people have enough power? It's one of the first questions I ask the white audience. I'm shocked by responses. Sometimes they don't want to answer. They start out with a level of hostility. Have an audience participation system in place where you're exploiting the falsehoods of their belief system. But you're not supposed to be brains. I'm not an orthodox thinker, and I'm not an orthodox person. I try to be as creative about what I do as possible because I want to be effective. I want to win. I want to show people why their side it leaves much to be desired. You have to be persistent. Think and rethink how you're going your message to folks. So having a 4th of July, Donnie.
Thank you, big brother.
You're welcome.
Have a good day, folks.